back channeling. We're getting the messages through, folks. Please know that. But yeah, what from a messaging standpoint, what do you think, Joe Bob?
From how we should react is to try to understand where he's coming from. Like, again, I think Mikey hit it on the nose. The president wants what's best for the American people, and sometimes that might look different, but ultimately his goal is what is going to benefit the American people the most. And in this instance, I want to go back to the same thing. Like Mikey said, we will figure it out. If we have a problem, Americans have the posture and the poise to figure out what that problem is, and then identify the problem, and then act accordingly. And in this particular instance, we want Americans to have American jobs, and if that means more training and upping the ante in trade schools, and anything that's going to ready Americans to do the jobs that are needed, that's exactly what it's going to take. Then that might not be overnight, but over the course of however long it does take, I think President Trump will be right there with the base in understanding that these jobs ultimately want to be held by Americans.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
This is interesting. This is from Dazzling Donna, I guess. I'm going on 70 years old. My husband, 72. We married really early. I was 16. My husband was 18, and we have 5 kids and a bunch of grandkids and sweet great grandkids. That's amazing. I don't even know if that's legal, but good for you guys. maybe wait till 18. We're gonna welcome back radio. We'll be right back. Bill says, fellers, Bill here, love the show, watch it daily. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. A couple things to mention. First, I can truly understand both sides of the H-1B debate. Yes, MAGA should mean America's first, but when we have a generation of young Americans unwilling to work and or believe no matter the job, they believe they should be paid 6 figures, plus one can see rather quickly why business folks want H-1B to be lenient. I'm just going to push back slightly, Bill. With all due respect, every generation is called lazy. I think that's just like, it's a kind of a generational disconnect. I would say that Gen Z and millennials are willing to work really hard. I've seen it up close and personal. They do have to sort of understand that there's real opportunity, and you have to pay them enough to live. I mean, there is a lot of disconnect here, too, I think, generationally, where we tend to talk down to generations. And sometimes we talk down to boomers. Sometimes we talk down to millennials. The only one I really don't talk down to is Xers. I have to say, they're pretty based.
The Xers are great.
The Xers are great.
No, Gen Z is not lazy, and this drives me a little mad when people say this.
Bill's a good dude.
Bill's great, but we're just a leveraged generation, and people take advantage of our generation, and we have record high credit card debt with crushing, high percentages. And then on top of that, BNPL programs and student wages.
Buy now, pay later.
Buy now, pay later. And then on top of that, the job market's shrinking. College grads 58% of them are unemployed in their first year of graduating college.
Well, and you have the AI revolution that's coming and taking a lot of those entry-level jobs.
Yes, yeah. and then if for the really high-performing Gen Zers, they can't get a job because it's replaced by an H-1B. And then to hear as a Gen Zer with all these things facing us that we're complaining and whining and unwilling to work makes us even more mad. I'm just going to be totally honest.
Here's the thing. And we love Gen Z, we love boomers. It's all good. There's just certain underlying economic situations that both generations experienced, and they're talking past each other, I think is a big thing. And we have to understand and appreciate. We're millennials. He's a Gen Zer, but when you flood your market with cheap money, you debase your currency, you explode your asset values, your equity values, and then you basically flood the market with foreigners. That is a breakdown of the social compact, because you are not guaranteeing, you are giving every advantage to the incumbent economic position, which is typically held by boomers now. It's a little bit, when it started, it was the silent generation, and now increasingly boomers and old Xers. And you are giving an advantage to the incumbent economic position at the expense of the next generation coming behind you. So there has to be a better equation that is made. And this is why we're talking about a Gen Z economic moonshot, a Gen Z economic revival, because we need them to have skin in the game, or else they're going to get radicalized. Yeah. They're going to go down the Mamdani route. They're going to go down the Imaggioni route, and they need skin in the game. How do you do that? Well, you get them to buy a home. You get them to get married, have kids. When you do those things, listen, We talked about the 3Ms. I can claim the 3Ms a little bit with Charlie because I helped him come up with it. Marriage, mating, and mortgage. Those three things are called conservatizing life events by the Brookings Institute. When you do those three things, you become more conservative. Why? Because you care about your community. You care about the cleanliness of your streets, the quality of the education in your community. You care about the tax rate. Those kind of things. Joe Bob, you're married with kids. You understand this.
Well, and I appreciate you calling me a millennial. I actually do identify as a based Gen Xer by my own standard.
Spiritually Gen X.
Yeah, no, but that's exactly kind of the point we were talking about a little bit earlier. Is like, you're right. Those are conservatizing. I'm not sure the particular verbiage.
Yeah, conservatizing life events.
Conservatizing life events. I would say my wife is a perfect example of this. She's, tangentially related to the political sphere because she's married to me, but after we had kids, after we bought a house and paid property taxes and pay income taxes and then ultimately have kids, my wife, who is not exactly the most politically inclined person, is now all of a sudden super involved. What is going on? How is this going to affect me? How is this going to affect my family? How is this going to affect my kids and the future that they're going to have in this country?
Women change a lot when they start having kids. A lot.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, just with Gen Z, is a lot of people complain that Gen Z wants a six-figure job as soon as they graduate college. Well, we kind of need it. Like, it's to afford a home in the U.S. right now, you need to make at least like $115,000 a year. The median income in the United States is around $80,000 a year. Now imagine, put yourself in the shoes of a Gen Zer graduating with, $200,000 in college debt with no jobs. And so you're like, to make this work, I need $100,000 job,
in order to buy a home in the greater Phoenix area, it's I think the medium home you would need a wage approximately around the $120,000 a year range. And so, $100,000 six-figure is not what it once was. And but you also need to get to that point. You need to grow. You need to pay your dues. Rob Schneider, a real comedian, joins us next. Don't go anywhere.
What is that?